Life's about feeling good. If you want it, you should.
Hey, you flirty swingers. Welcome to another episode of the Unexpected Us podcast with the Flirty Pineapples. I'm Bella, a retired sex therapist turned naughty pleasure seeker.
And I'm her husband, Prescott, your resident nerdy guy who's always seeking to explore, understand, and uncover all things sexual.
Whether you're a seasoned swinger or a curious newbie, join us for laughter and tears as we answer follower questions, demonstrate strategies to help you work through your own challenges, and discuss the rituals and routines to strengthen your bond with your partner as you navigate the fun, exciting world of the lifestyle. Prepare yourselves. This is going to be fun.
This podcast contains explicit language and content that is intended for mature audiences only.
Hey, you flirty swingers.
And welcome to the Unexpected Us podcast. Nice to be back with you guys. Hope this finds you well.
So let's start with some quick updates. The last week has been pretty fun on socials for me anyway.
Yeah, it has.
Vixen and wifey.com reached out to us wondering if maybe we might want to come and film some professional scenes.
That's right. So I can go there and sit on my hands.
No, your hand could touch me. You could gaze into my eyes.
Yeah, that's totally us.
Yeah. And actually, they were so nice. And I actually really, really love their model. I spent a lot of time on the phone talking with them. Mm-hmm. And I love what they do, actually. I'm so happy to promote them to the rest of you that are into that kind of dynamic. I feel like they are one of the groups that produces ethical porn, which most of us who really love watching hot bods also love knowing that it was ethically produced.
Yes.
So, yeah, love them. I'm going to be talking some more about them in future episodes.
Yeah, we met them at Naughty, some of the people there.
Right.
We were interviewed by them. Man on the street kind of a thing with, I'm forgetting his name, the very large guy in many, more ways than one.
Yeah,
tattooed.
yeah. What was his name?
He was funny. I liked him, actually.
Gosh, it was such an easy name, too. I cannot even think of it.
Rex.
No, it wasn't Rex.
Just go with it, honey. Come on.
It was really fun, though, because we were walking around that bar just kind of like checking it out. I was in my STD hero costume.
Oh, that's right.
I had my big white cape on and everything. And they came and they said, we hunted you down. We saw you over here. We want to interview you. Would you be interested in being interviewed?
Like a freak. You're wearing a cape.
So I was like, yeah, you can totally interview me. But also, just so you know, this is not our dynamic at all. So I think I blew the interview in 10 seconds flat.
No, it was funny because actually I thought the interview was good, except when it came to the part where they asked you, so do you watch Wifey? And you said, no.
I don't.
You didn't know. I mean, you knew Vixen and everything, but you hadn't really seen Wifey.
Yeah, it's just not my jam.
Point. Yeah, and so that didn't help.
Right. No, it didn't.
I thought that. I'm like, all right, we should. I remember looking. I don't know if I was in the camera or not. I'd love to see it. I think I did a double take, and I was like, okay,
what are you thinking, Bella? Just lie.
Yeah, this interview's over. Or even like not yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Something. Not just
like nope.
Nope.
Listen, honesty.
I don't know who you are.
And
I don't know why you're talking to me right now.
You covered for me, though. You're like, well, I've watched it.
I tried. I did my best to clean up, but it was still dirty at the end. I couldn't do it. Couldn't get it all clean.
Anyway,
they were very nice. I liked them.
They were so fun. They were really fun. And the woman that I talked to on the phone was just amazing. I really freaking loved her. And she walked me through the whole process that they do when they're recruiting couples. And I loved it. I really loved it. They make people feel really special. Yeah. They really pamper them. And they take really good care of the people who come in and film scenes with them. And they really like the idea of filming these more amateur kind of scenes and making them look all like glossy and glowy and amazing. So highly recommend. So we're going to go more over how wifey.com works and how you could potentially get involved in that in another episode, but that's just a flyby update for this week. In other news this week, I also got contacted by a reality show.
This is the second or third time.
Yeah. that a reality show has contacted me. But in the past, when other reality shows have contacted me, I haven't been as intrigued by them because it felt more sensational. And
Well, it's what you'd see on Netflix or whatever, one of those things.
Right. Which I understand. I understand the urge to capitalize on the sensationalism of the lifestyle, but that's not my vibe. I'm not really looking to be a part of that. But this one,
well, those are usually really super drama filled, and we are kind of no drama people. So we would
super phobic.
We would be the most boring, or not even me. Not that I was invited to these ones either. I don't remember, but
you were invited on this one.
This one, yeah. But I'm talking about the other ones where. Yeah, we would be like the two bumps in the log going, what is going on? You simmer down, get in the corner, knock it off.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. Yeah, we would not feed into the drama the way they'd like us to.
Leave. We do not make good television.
But this one I really love the concept of, so I'm actually considering it. I have an interview with the producer this week, but the recruiter that was talking with me was like, oh my gosh, you'd be perfect for this. And I was like, you're right. I think I would.
You actually would, based on what they said. It's right up it's in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. It's
with
more
your
of
therapeutic background and everything.
Yeah. They were looking at me in more of a mentorship role. So I love that idea. And I love the idea of normalizing ethical non-monogamy as a healthy lifestyle, not just sensationalizing it.
Yes. Yeah. Their approach matched well with your vibe and kind of our vibe.
Yeah.
With our podcast and everything else.
Yeah. It's funny because when she initially reached out to me, I was like kind of not prioritizing the meeting at all. And by that, I mean, I was like, I'm not available until next week. And then I did end up having some availability come up. So I was like, let me just get this off of my schedule to have this initial meeting. Because I knew in my head that what was going to happen was they were going to tell me about this reality show. And I was going to say, hey, that sounds great, but I don't think that it aligns with my brand.
No thanks. Yeah.
So I was really surprised to get through that conversation and be like, okay, actually, I'm kind of intrigued. So who knows? You might be seeing us on a major network sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. Hello, world.
Woohoo! Okay, I think that's it for our updates. So it is now time to move into Say What? Don't laugh at me. You do it then.
No.
Okay, guys. So we need to talk about code words in the swinger lifestyle for a minute.
Yes. No. Yeah. We all have them. Code words are good things.
They can protect your connection with your partner. They can make you feel more safe. They can help with emotional regulation in the moment. But when they are used poorly, they can really cross quickly straight into couples privilege. And I never would have thought of that if I hadn't gotten this message from a follower recently, which really made me stop and think. This
passed over. I know this one. I think it's really applicable. I mean, the message came from. I guess it doesn't matter if it was a guy or a girl.
It was a guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy. It was a guy, but I don't know if it matters because it kind of applies to both. But it was a situation where the couple kept using their code word over and over during play, and it was not subtle and it was not quiet.
And play didn't stop.
The solo guy with them said that it became painfully obvious that something was wrong and nobody stopped. They just kept going and they kept using the code and nobody checked in. And he was left kind of standing there wondering what was going on. And I'm sure his
anxiety was probably skyrocketing.
Yeah. And his imagination was thinking of what the hell's going on. And at that point, I mean, physically, I think for me, if I was in that kind of headspace, my other head would be
right. And
worried.
That's what he said. He said it was a total turnoff for him. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to address this right away. As soon as I saw his message, I was like, oh my gosh, this is such a good point to bring up because I bet a lot of couples don't even think about this. So we want to talk a little bit about the research behind this. So psychologists have long known that humans are wired to pick up on threat cues in social interactions, especially when the cues are inconsistent or confusing, which obviously, in this situation, that was the case. This couple agreed to play with him. They were excited to play with him. Everyone wanted to be there. And then he got there and suddenly it was code word, obvious code word. So essentially what's happening is the amygdala and the anterior cingulate cortex are jumping into action. So there are some studies from the Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience Journal that show that ambiguous social signals actually activate stronger distress responses than clear ones. And I can think of so many times when this has been the case for me, not even related to this topic.
No, not at all. I can think of different times where when we've been in this situation individually, but also even as a couple, when we've gotten weird signals, things have changed, we don't understand what's going on. And it ends up, playing it over and over in your head. Like, what's going on? What's happening? I don't understand. If it were clear, if we understood what was going on, we would deal with it and move on.
Right.
Put it behind us.
And that happens in the lifestyle a lot.
It
so
does.
A couple will withdraw and you're not sure why, and you're worried that you did something wrong, but they're not telling you whether you did something wrong or not. And then they're just in and then they're out and then they're in and then they're out, and not in a good way.
Yeah. I mean, your brain is on kind of overdrive, literally trying to solve like a threat puzzle.
Right.
With the missing pieces.
Right. And that's not the intention of code words. That's not what they're supposed to be there for. But this is something, this whole phenomenon, this psychological phenomenon, is something that you really need to pay attention to when you are a couple playing with other couples. Yeah. But you need to pay attention to it even more if you are a couple playing with a single, because it's just not fair to the single person. I mean, imagine that guy. Imagine that single guy. Yeah. He's in this play situation. He thinks this couple really wants him, and he feels like, this is exciting. This is so much fun. And then he's like, wrong, wrong, wrong. No, I'm not telling you what's wrong, but wrong.
Yeah. Everything's fine. By the way, giraffe.
Yeah.
Or whatever the code
Pegasus.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Banana.
Yeah. And that code word is meant for them. You know what I mean? It's not meant for that other person to understand. That's kind of by design, right? And the way it's being used is impacting everyone, not just the couple. And, it kind of is the definition of couples privilege. The idea that a couple prioritizes their whole, internal dynamic so strongly that it unintentionally harms the experience of the third or fourth person in the room.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Dr. Elizabeth Sheff did some research on this. She did some longitudinal ENM research on this, and she kind of defined couples privilege. What she says is that it's not always intentional, but it is powerful, and it shapes safety, fairness, and emotional well-being for people outside of the primary dyad. So when code words are used in a way that makes another person feel like the confused outsider, that creates anxiety, self-doubt, even shame. And shame, again, research from Brené Brown and countless effective neuroscience studies shows, is the fastest way to kill connection.
Exactly. So here's the bottom line. Code words should never be a way to avoid communication, and they should never negatively impact persons outside your primary relationship. They're a check-in or a reset, and they should not totally wreck the other person's vibe or confidence.
Right. So if you need to use a code word more than once, that's a sign to stop the play. If someone else in the room can tell that something's wrong, another sign, stop the play. If your code word becomes a neon sign instead of a subtle hint, stop the play. Yeah.
Yeah. In swinger dynamics, every person's experience matters, right? Compassion has to expand beyond the couple. If your internal system protects you, but it harms someone else, it is not ethical engagement anymore.
And it isn't about shame, it's about skill. I have created a full guide on creating better code words and signals, like literally almost immediately after I read that guy's comment, I was like, or his DM to me, I was like, okay, guide time, because this is not acceptable. Because when you do code words and signals well, they do create safety and pleasure, and they sync you emotionally with everyone in the room. But when you do them poorly, they kind of super suck.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your couple can be a team, and it can remain a team without sidelining anybody else.
Okay. But I want to give a couple of actionable tips before we move on, because I know that people are like, okay, now what? And you'll get the stuff in the guide, but I want to give a couple of quick actionable tips about good code words and bad code words or signals. Okay. So I'm just going to say, I think it's okay to be a little bit vulnerable. I think your code word doesn't have to be as mysterious as you're trying to make it. This is just me kind of advocating for open communication always, but it's totally okay if you don't feel comfortable with this. I think a really good quote unquote code word is
stop it.
Ouch. No.
And always carry a rolled up newspaper to hit him over the nose with it.
Little squirt bottle.
Yes.
Okay. No, not that one. Not that one.
No, not. Sorry.
But I think you're good. saying you good. It's not actually a code word. It shows authenticity, though. You're checking in. That's healthy. That's respectable. And you don't have to just say that to your partner.
Yeah.
You could be like, you can say you good to your partner, and then you can say you good to the other person
Is
that's with
everybody
you.
good? Is everybody good?
Yeah. Anyone need to take a pause? You good. If you notice something, I love that. I honestly think that's great. I don't. If we were with a couple that was actually comfortable with that, that would probably be like my coziest, safest space to be, in a place where I could literally just check in with you lovingly and check in with them lovingly and authentically without needing a super codey code word.
Yeah, I get it. Like even sometimes just like a squeeze of a thumb or a touch, hit a toe or an ear or something that you typically don't squeeze.
Right.
Squeezing a breast, that's not going to help. Those kind of things could be codes as well. It's funny though, when we first started, so many mistakes, but one I think we talked about was like a squeeze. Well, like squeezing your arm just wasn't, you're like, oh yeah, hey, how are you? I'm just going to squeeze your arm.
Right.
It didn't work out.
It didn't work out well because there were so many situations where we were so worried about taking care of each other. So there were so many, I shouldn't say so many, because we diverted our course pretty quickly. But one of our first play sessions, probably our first play session, we were both like, are you okay? Are you okay? Because every time like you would touch my leg, I'd be like, is that the sign? Are you okay?
Yeah, I know. Like, we need a new sign.
Yeah. Another thing you can do is say something like, I need a water break, or I'm going to use the restroom really quick. Your partner knows that if you say that, it could mean that you need to check in. It could also mean that you need a water break or you need to use the restroom. Literally, it doesn't matter, because whenever your partner says that, you know you're going to take a second to take a water break with them, or you're going to go to the restroom with them. If you have something to touch base about, you touch base. If you don't, great. You just high five each other and head back into the playroom.
Yeah, right. And like an effective one, I think, is saying like, I'm going to grab a Zima. Just kidding.
Drink something that you actually just can't stand to drink.
All right, that's not a good example because
you would drink.
I like Zima. I didn't think it was that bad. Although I think it's been 20 years or whatever since I've had one. But it's kind of information that only you and your partner kind of know, and that's kind of a sign to your partner that okay,
yeah,
all right.
Without it being a neon sign to anyone else that you're using a code. So if you don't drink wine, say, I'm going to go grab a glass of wine, and your partner will be like, wait, what? And that's an easy signal for them to be like, oh, okay. Actually, they need to talk. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll go with you.
Okay. So hopefully some of those tips will help you guys in creating a code word that doesn't actually blaze that it's a code word and make anyone else feel uncomfortable. We're trying to avoid couples privilege while also giving you a communication tool to kind of ease out of situations that feel awkward or uncomfortable, or just even situations where you need a little quick reset. So thanks so much to the person that sent us that message. That really got us to thinking, and it really made me look at something that I hadn't really looked at before, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our main topic. How to get your profile on everyone's radar. All right, guys, anyone who is on an ENM dating app knows that your profile is your first impression. It's either working for you or it's working against you. And I see so many profiles working against people.
Yeah, we've seen it even people we know where we saw their profile first and didn't think we were a really good match just based on the profile itself. Yeah. For a variety of different reasons. Then we meet them, we're like, what the hell? Dudes, you got to change your profile.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Actually, just keep your profile as it is. Yeah. We can keep you to ourselves.
Exactly. We like to sabotage people.
That's right.
And collect them.
So today we're going to be mostly focusing on specific things you can do on SDC.com. That is our absolute favorite dating app. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that as fact. We've tried out a number of dating apps, and at some point we'll probably do an episode on the different apps that we've tried out, but we just really, really genuinely love SDC the most. And a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today are transferable skills to other apps, especially the other larger apps like Cassidy and SLS.
Yeah.
And many others as well. We're going to be talking in terms of SDC just because that is where we spend the majority of our time when it comes to dating apps.
And honestly, these tips can work well for even non-ENM sites.
That's true. That's true. Actually, a lot of these tips are transferable to vanilla sites. So tip number 1 is optimize your privacy settings. So there are so many privacy settings that can set you up to have the experience that you want on SDC.com. You can block trial members or single males. You can block group invitations or like notifications. And you should absolutely use those different privacy features as you see fit. So for example, I understand why anyone would block a trial member. Trial members can bump in as trolls who just kind of want to explore your profile. So just so you know, trial members on SDC can see one picture, just one, and it's your cover picture, which is one of the reasons SDC limits what your cover picture can show. Your cover picture cannot show anything explicit to keep you safe. Yeah. So trial member comes in, they're there for free for a few days. All they can see is your one picture and your bio. So thank you, SDC. I also can understand why someone would block single males, mostly because of our own experience with single males. And it's funny because when we first got on the app, I felt so defensive of single males because I saw so many profiles that were just mean.
Yeah, they were rude.
They were rude to single guys. Like single guys were just pieces of dirt. And I was like, why you gotta be like that? Can't you just be kind? Okay, I'll tell you why.
You don't need to be unkind, but I understand their frustration.
Oh my gosh. So we had our profile open at first, but we were just inundated with messages from single guys and we ended up restricting them because it took up so much of my time. And we just recently reopened it to single guys because of these challenges that I'm doing on SDC. And I didn't feel like it was fair that single guys couldn't message me and ask me questions about the challenge. So I opened it up and I changed our bio, added a sentence at the beginning of our bio saying, hey, opening our profile up to single males so that you guys can ask questions about the challenges, but we are definitely not at all looking for solo guys to play with. My entire inbox is filled with messages from single guys.
Yeah.
Literally about 75% of the messages that I get are from single guys who hope maybe they'll be the exception to the rule. And some of them are very rude about the fact that I should even have a group if I'm not going to be fucking them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It really is. My point is this. I understand if you want to block single guys. Unfortunately, it's still not a good look if you put in your bio anything rude about single guys. So I advise against that, but we'll get to that later. But the one area in your privacy settings that you want to make sure is on if you want to raise your visibility on SDC.com is the tab that says show your activities on your friends' feeds.
Yeah, that's a simple kind of a no-brainer way to regularly get yourself on everybody's radar.
Right. Yeah. Every photo that you post goes into their SDC feed. Every time you RSVP to an event, if it's your birthday, basically any update that you make to your profile is now going to show up on their feed. And every time you show up on their feed, it's like a sales call. It's like, hello, I'm here. It's like one of your 7 touches before they buy.
Yeah, you keep yourself on everybody's mind. There's also a setting that if you want to look at people's profiles without them knowing that you're looking, I mean, that's totally okay too. You just have to turn that feature off and back on after you look.
Right.
So, I mean, you can keep it off all the time if you want.
Well, the issue with that is that you actually lose opportunities because every time you look at someone's profile, that's another visibility point for you. So even if you're like too shy to reach out to them or you're like, oh no, they're out of my league, you look at their profile, they see that you looked at their profile, they look at your profile, and then they're like, actually, I'm kind of interested, and maybe they message you. So you have to be very calculated in how you determine how you want to use your privacy settings.
Okay, so number 2. Temporarily change your location when traveling. And
put you on that puts you on everyone's radar that lives in that area. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And then your friends will get a post on their feed when you change your location, which will pop you back on their radar.
Yeah. It's so easy to do that, to quickly change your location whenever you're traveling. And then you get bumped onto the radar of all of your friends where you live now and also all of your friends in that new area.
Yeah. Or in potentially new friends.
Right.
That's what's kind of fun about it. Because you pop in that area and suddenly you check your SDC and you've got people that are looking at you. You've got activity, people possibly messaging you getting likes, all that good stuff in a different
It's kind
location.
of crazy. The first time that we did this, actually what we did was number 3, add a secondary location to your profile.
Oh, nicely done. Nice segue.
Thank you. So we were going to Florida one year and we're like, oh, let's try out this secondary location thing because we go to the same area in Florida multiple times a year. We have family there. We have a timeshare there. So we're there a lot. And so we're like, okay, let me just add a secondary location. We did that. And we were like, what is going on? We got so many more likes. We got so many more profile views. We just got so much activity from simply changing our location and adding that secondary location. And if you do it as a secondary location, a really cool thing about it is that it shows up at the top of your profile right under your handle. So people will see on ours, it says Chicago and it says Fort Myers Beach. 2 different locations because we're in 2 different places the majority of the time. So anyone who lives in those locations can reach out to us at any point. Hey, I see that you guys are in Fort Myers Beach, or hey, I see you guys are in Chicago. And they can reach out to us at any point. It's such an amazing way to get on more people's radar.
Yeah, and we met a lot of nice people doing that too.
We really have.
Yeah, we still keep in touch with. So it worked out well. Number 4, add your travel plans. So when you do add your travel plans, you can see who else is going to be there when you're going to be there. And you could also see a map of the people who are going to be close by. And you can search like different resorts. You can search different cruise lines, whatever.
And add it to the travel calendar.
Yeah. I mean, this is an awesome way to get on people's radar once again for different trips and also, find like-minded people when you're traveling.
Yeah. It's super cool because when you go into the travel plans area, you can click on different resorts and literally if you know you're going to Desire or you're going to Hito on a specific week, you can click on those different resorts and see who's heading there and when they're heading there and you can make different connections in advance. It's a super, super cool feature. If you guys haven't checked it out, you really need to check this feature out. Number 5 is a tip that we actually needed because we found ourselves getting into a pattern of waiting for people to find us. And actually, I shouldn't say we needed it. We still need this. We still do this all the time. I literally can't remember the last time. I never search for people. I literally just field messages. And we should search. We should, because that is the easiest way for you to find people who match your vibe. You can wait. I'm not saying we're waiting. It's just that we're busy and it's really difficult to make time to do these searches. But whenever you do it, it does pay off because when you're waiting, it's like a needle in the haystack. Maybe 1 in every 20 or 30 couples that reach out to you is going to be someone you're interested in. When you're searching for people yourself, when you're actively going into that search bar and you're filling out all the different fields that match your play style, you're going to find way more matches. Now, a lot of them might reject you, but at least everyone you're reaching out to appears on paper to be a decent match right out of the gate. So don't wait for people to find you. Do the search. I mean, they have such an in-depth search function. You can search by area. You can search by body type. You can search by play style. You can search by so many different things. So use it.
Yes. Do as we say, not as we do.
That's right. We're trying to get better at it, though.
Number 6, don't be stingy with friend requests.
Not with giving and not with receiving. So
you never want to be stingy with giving and receiving.
That's right. So we, over time, have used our friends list in a lot of different ways. In the beginning, I was very selective about who I would accept as a friend. If you had a sexy girl as a cover photo, then I said yes. Because I wanted to be able to look through my friends list just for fun. I mean, there were people that we accepted that lived in other countries that it was very unlikely that we were ever going to meet them. But I was like, she's hot. Okay. Yes, friends. But then we went through a time period where I was like, okay, maybe I should actually use this friends list for a different reason. Maybe we should just put people on our friends list that we think there's a potential that we will eventually play with them so that I can find them easily if we're traveling to different areas. So we had a time period when we did that. So that was kind of like our maybe someday list.
And it's funny. There was a time that when we were pretty stingy about friend requests and everything, we kind of opened up and started accepting and making friend requests. And what was interesting was we started getting a whole bunch of other friend requests and likes and messages from these people's friends, which actually worked out really, really well because there was a similarity there as far as what we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is, the second that you accept a friend request from someone, it's going into your SDC feed. So all of your friends see who your new friend is. Same goes in reverse. When they accept your friend request or when you become friends, it becomes formalized. It goes into the SDC feed for both them and you. So now all of their friends are getting exposed to you and they can look at your profile and see if maybe you're someone who they might be interested in. So it's like visibility gold. So do not be too stingy with those friend requests if you want to get on more people's radars.
On that note, number 7, look at the friends list of your friends. That is actually a great way to find other, whatever you're looking for, couples, singles that, in some ways,
they're pre-vetted.
I was just going to say, I've already been vetted. There's a better chance that your play styles may match.
And that's not exclusively true of all friends, but it can be true of most of their validations. So if you look first at your friends' validation lists, and then don't just look at the validations that are just the template validation. Look at the validations that say something about them. And if someone has described your friends in a way that you would describe your friends, you're like, okay, we might be pretty like-minded. Then another thing you can do is go to that person's profile and then see if your friend validated them and look at what your friend said about them. And that can kind of clue you into the dynamic between the two of them. Like maybe they validated your friend and they gave your friend a glowing validation, and then your friend just gave them the basic template back. And you know that your friend typically would give like a really good glowing validation where they would write something. Well, that's a clue to you that maybe they weren't the best match, but they wanted to validate that they were a real person. So they just gave them the template. Whereas if your friend gave them a really glowing review that is similar to the review that your friend gave you, you know that maybe you guys could be on the same page. Your friend's friends list and your friend's validation list, freaking gold.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8, you can join groups and communities to get yourself on more people's radars. There are so many different groups and communities out there that you can join, different themes. I actually have a group on SDC. My group's called the New Flirty Pineapples, if you guys want to join. And we do different challenges in my group. So my group is kind of about supporting your journey, not just on SDC, but in the lifestyle. That's what my vibe is. But other groups might be in the theme of hot wifing. They might be in the theme of cuckolding. They might be just a resort group or something like that that you can join. You will find your tribe if you look in the groups section and if you join one of the groups. Some groups are more active and engaged than others. So you're going to want to look at the chats for the group. You're going to want to look at the actual forum for the group and see what kinds of things people are posting to see if you vibe. But every single time you make a post in a group, you are more visible to people. People can see what your personality is like, and you can see what their personality is like. And if you see someone who you kind of vibe with, you're like, yeah, that was awesome. That was badass what they just said. Message them. Like them. And once you've had a conversation with them, send them a friend request. And there you go. You just had multiple touch points of visibility.
Yeah, definitely engage in those groups. Make that number 9. Engage in the groups.
We were bad at it at first. We actually need to go in and clean up our groups because initially we just accepted most group invitations. I would say the only ones that I said no to were the ones that did not match with our vibe at all. So we got invited to a lot of hot wife groups, which I did not join because I didn't want to have to do a lot of rejecting of people who thought we had a hot wife vibe, or BBC groups. I'm not into that. So we didn't join those groups. So only join groups that match your actual vibe. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up to reject and you're setting other people up to be rejected. But don't be like us either in that we joined a bunch of groups. Like literally anytime someone sent us an invitation that did potentially match our vibe, we said yes to be nice. And we have not stepped foot in those groups after joining them. We have not engaged at all. And if you're not engaging, you are still on people's radars because they can look at who is a part of the group. So that does give you one touch point. But if you actually want to maximize your visibility, only join the groups that you are very, very interested in. And once you join the group, be active in it.
The next one, number 10, is a really good one. And that's post speed dates.
We had so much fun with this one.
First one we did was kind of crazy. It was very surprising. The very first one we did was just, we posted a speed date that we were heading to Florida. We did it while we were driving down there. And it was hilarious because we just kind of watched everything kind of explode, which was really fun.
Apparently we do this. Every time we go down to Florida, we try out a new feature of the app. This one was particularly fun.
Yes.
because we posted the speed date and we were going to be there for 2 weeks that time, I think, 2.5 weeks that time. And we posted it thinking, I don't know. Maybe someone will see this, maybe not. We said we were going to be there for 2 weeks. By the time we got to Florida, our schedule for the entire week was filled. And we were like, okay, our schedule's full, but we would love to meet you another time. Can we put you on our friends list so that we can reach out to you another time?
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It was really surprising. I mean, our expectations were very, very low. It was really fun.
But I will say that when I look at speed dates, one thing that does make a big difference is the call to action you use. You see some people who will put out speed dates that says like available tonight. You are not inviting anyone. You're not enticing anyone when you just say available tonight. You want to have an enticing, a playful, a flirty kind of tagline with your speed date if you want to attract more people.
And remember to do it a little earlier too. I mean, saying tonight, that obviously has its own issues. But one of those is not everybody is on here every day.
Right. And also keep in mind that you don't have to have big plans to post a speed date. It can be something casual. You can literally just want to host at your house. You don't have to have some big date planned out.
Well, we've done it when we've gone to a club. We've just said, hey, we throw out a speed date and say, hey, we're going to be here. And if anybody's interested in
one of our favorite
by.
nights was that. One of our favorite nights where we met some people who have become very good friends of ours was a situation where we put out a speed date because we were going to a club for a masquerade ball. And we were like, hey, meet us there. We were newer to the lifestyle then. It was, I don't know, maybe we'd been in the lifestyle about a year or something. I don't know.
I think things had just kind of opened up from COVID.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was kind of funny because we went to that club and we felt like total rock stars. We're like, so many people there knew us because we had put out this speed date.
Yeah.
So we kind of felt like we needed to take people around. We needed to show people around, which I freaking loved. I was like, yep.
It was really fun.
And that was the first time. Typically, when we had gone to clubs before that, you and I were always just together the entire time. Like we were pretty much inseparable. And that was the first time that we were like, okay, we have so many people coming in and out that we were taking different shifts. Like I would take a couple around and show them things, and you would take another couple around, or you'd be hanging out by the dance floor. And we did spend a lot of time together still, but it was kind of fun because we were like, wait a minute, what's happening here? Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Okay, number 11, find a party to attend and add yourself to the guest list. So here's the thing about that. Do not add yourself to a bunch of guest lists just to raise your visibility, because you are going to annoy people and break trust if you sign up for 7 New Year's Eve parties just to see who's out there. People are going to be like, they're not going anywhere. I don't trust them. I don't believe them. It's not a good look. But if you find parties that you actually intend to attend, and you put yourself on the guest list, there are so many opportunities for you to connect before the party through that guest list that you sign up on. And often those guest lists have chat rooms associated with them too.
Yeah.
So once you RSVP to the event, you can be in the chat room, you can get updates on the event. It's a really cool way to meet people before you go to the party.
Yeah.
Okay, number 12. Check out the other guests who are attending the event that you're going to. So here's the thing, getting yourself on the guest list, that is great exposure. But if you aren't checking out the other guests, you are totally skipping over something that could give you excellent exposure.
Yeah. You can make connections before the event even happens.
So you're walking into the event and you don't feel like you don't know anybody because you've already talked to a handful of people ahead of time. Even if you don't want to play with them, even if it's just like, hey, this is a familiar face. You can see them. And when you get there, you'll be like, hey, we met you online. That is not an obligation to play. Not at all. It's literally just a familiar face. And on that note, when you do sign up for these parties, this is something that we frequently do. We will check the guest list and we will be looking for people that we are attracted to on the guest list. And in our early days, if we didn't see anyone that we were attracted to on the guest list, we would not sign up. We're like, nope, we're not going to go there. Why would we go to a party where we know for sure there's no one there that we want to fuck? Here's the thing. If you sign up on the guest list for this party because you like the location, you like the theme, you like the people who are hosting the event, once you sign up, if you sign up well in advance, you being on that guest list can attract people that you would be attracted to. So you can sign up for this party and kind of feel it out. See what happens over the next few weeks, especially if you sign up a few months in advance. You can kind of feel it out, see how the guest list grows, and you never know, you may end up attracting the very people that you want to play with to the guest list. Now, if that doesn't happen and you follow up on the guest list and you're like, no, it's like 3 weeks out and still I don't see anyone on there, or 2 weeks or 1 week out and I still don't see anyone on there that we're interested in at all, you can take yourself off the RSVP list if you want. However,
exactly.
I would caution you because I cannot even tell you how many times we have thought there would be no matches at a party. We've gone just because we've decided, whatever, like we're in the mood to dance. We're in the mood to flirt and have fun. And like, we're not super goal oriented anyway when we go to these parties. And we've ended up meeting the coolest freaking people ever. Like Prescott said earlier, sometimes profiles just do not
do justice.
They don't. They
At
just
all.
don't. So
and some people you don't even see on the guest list, or they sign up, last minute and you're like, oh, where were you? You weren't on the list that I saw before. So that's happened as well.
Yeah. So number 13, we kind of already covered. You've already identified some people, you've liked their profiles, you've friended their profiles. And number 13 is to take it a step further and message a couple people that are going to the party.
And number 14, this is a big one. Get validations.
Yeah. If you don't bring it up, you cannot get the validation. And sometimes people get nervous. They're like, this feels so transactional and weird.
But it matters. It
really
matters
does.
a lot having validations. I mean, really at this point right now, if somebody reaches out to us or we see somebody and they don't have any validations, we always question whether or not they're even real.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to go on a date with anyone who has no validations. I'm not going to waste my time on it because there are way, way too many catfish. There are too many people on these apps that are not actually real. I want to know that someone else has been able to reach out and touch you and that you are who you say you are. You actually look like your photos. You are a real person. I want to know that in advance. And the only way to know that is to look at their validations.
We went to, I think one of the first parties we went to, wasn't it an SDC party in Chicago? It was like a newbie party. Remember?
I don't know. I don't know what one you're talking about.
We went to a bar and we were all exchanging validations because everybody knew we needed to do that.
I have no recollection of this.
Really?
No. I mean, our first thing in Chicago?
Yeah, it was in Chicago. We went. I remember because it was the first time I had ever... But I don't drink very often at all. So I sound like a 12-year-old when I'm talking about these things. So I apologize up front. But it was one of those, and it came in a copper cup, one of those.
Moscow Mule?
Sure. But it was the first time I had one of those. And it was at this bar in Chicago. And it was I think it was a sanctioned event for newbies that we went to. And that's how we initially got some validations.
I have no recollection of that.
Yeah, we did that early on. And I remember we were all kind of standing around with our phones exchanging.
Right. So someone has to bring it up. And here's the thing. A lot of people get nervous about bringing up validations, but literally everyone wants and needs validations. You're doing everyone a favor if you remember it, because almost everyone is going to go home and be like, gosh darn it, I forgot to ask for validations again. And you're better off doing it earlier in the evening than waiting until everyone is heading to their cars and trying to figure that out. Another quick tip about validations is sometimes newbies don't know that there's the option to use the template validation or to write your own validation. And it is highly, highly recommended if you actually dig the people to write your own validation.
Yeah. Or even I've seen people say, I met them at a bar and they were super nice, whatever, just saying that how you met them. And it wasn't, and you're saying basically we didn't play together or anything, but we met them. They're real people. They were really nice and we liked them and look forward to seeing them again.
Yeah. If you feel like you need to say that you didn't play with them. But honestly, most people, if they don't already know that validations only mean that the person is real, they will figure it out over time. Validations don't mean you fucked people because trust me, We have so many validations on our profile, and we have not been with the great majority of those people.
And we've given people validations that we've never been with.
Yeah, we validated some single men. We've never once played with single men. But if you're real and you're a decent human being and we like you as a person, I'm happy to validate you. You know who I won't validate, even though they're real? If someone is disrespectful or someone violates consent and they're a single person or a couple, I will not validate you. Because while you are real, and I could confirm that you're real, I don't appreciate the way that you're interacting with people, so I will not exchange a validation with you.
Yep, that's totally fair.
And one lesson that we've kind of learned is that we have exchanged validations one time with someone who actually looked nothing like their. And I debated about it when we did it because, again, early days, and we met them and they were nice. We really liked them. But she looked absolutely nothing like their profile. So we did validate them. And then I later regretted it because I had a couple of our friends reach out to us and say, hey, I see you validated them. Like, cool, not cool. Do you think that they would have our play vibe? And I was like, oh, now I'm in this uncomfortable position because I kind of have to say, she doesn't look anything like this profile.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that to anyone. So if someone, it's your choice. You can still validate that they're real if you want to, but maybe, I know for us, we would be a little bit slower to validate someone who way over edits their profile to the point that you feel like you would have to warn your friends about it.
Yeah. And number 15, you're going to want to respond to your friend requests.
Kind of seems like a no-brainer, but if you're like us, though, we are so freaking slow. We are slow. It's not for lack of interest. We are just so busy, and we're not the only ones. There are so many people. I mean, this is the lifestyle. You have your life. You have your primary partner.
Kids. Yeah.
You have your job. You have so many other things. And the lifestyle is this lovely bonus, but it's not going to be your primary focus all the time. So sometimes things can fall off the radar and you can miss a bunch of friend requests or a bunch of messages. Like literally sometimes you just need to go in and clean house because every time you respond to a friend request, every time you give a like, all of these things put you in everyone else's SDC feed, which gets you on everyone else's radar. It is worth the half hour that you spend doing it together once a month or whenever you decide to do it. Just go in, check your feed, check your DMs, and respond to all of your requests.
Yeah. And also kind of a pro tip here. If you only accept friend requests from people you've met or people you've played with or want to play with, or whatever your parameters are, just send them a quick DM saying as much. Tell them. If you're not accepting their friend request because you've never met them before, just, let them know. It demonstrates that you don't reserve respect solely for people, you want to play with, that you respect everybody.
Right. Yeah. Shows a little compassion. You don't leave people wondering. Okay. Number 16, use chat rooms. So the funny thing about this is that I tried to jump in and use a chat room recently because I hadn't used them, and I was putting this into my list of different things for a challenge that I was doing on SDC, and I discovered that business profiles couldn't use chat rooms, so I didn't get to try them out. But other people who are in my challenge on SDC did try out the chat rooms, and they gave some pretty good tips. So if you want to jump into my group on SDC, you can see some tips on how to use chat rooms and different chat rooms that have more activity versus those that don't. It sounds to me from what people were saying, like some chat rooms are pretty active. And by pretty active, I mean they have between 25 and 50 people who are active in the group. And the way that you can become a part of that group and actually be an active participant in the group is by posting pictures. That's the quickest way to get eyes on your profile. So have some pictures stocked up if you're going to jump into a chat room that you can post. And then another tip that they gave is just looking at other people's pictures, commenting on those, or coming up with some sort of topic to ask a question about. So someone asked, what are your biggest fantasies or your big lifestyle wishes, the things that you would hope to be able to do at some point? And that got a lot of traction in the chat rooms. So when you're in the chat rooms, the cool thing about it is that people see your name pop up. And when they see your name pop up and you say something that resonates with them, or they see your picture pop up and that resonates with them, now they're going to click on your profile. And now you've got a potential date or a virtual date or whatever it is that you might be looking for.
Number 17, it's the same with attending webinars as chats.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get yourself on people's radar. So I just started doing webinars on there, and it's actually kind of crazy how fun it is when people are responding in the webinar, and you can weed out bad eggs on webinar. So I have had a couple of single guys show up on webinars, just like, I'm doing this educational webinar, and they're like, show me your tits. Let me see your pussy. Like, show me your asshole. I'm like, no, that is not what this is about. And when you set a boundary with someone in a webinar, now this guy that was doing that got kicked out of the webinar, but you are showing people who you are as a person. So when you're making thoughtful comments in a webinar, you are getting on people's radar in a good way. They're thinking, I want to click on their profile, see who they are, maybe make a connection with them. When you're like, show me your asshole, you are making connections on a webinar that are like, I want to block that profile.
Look, I have apologized like 4 times for that. I wish you would let me back on.
You could see my asshole anytime, honey.
I just wanted to see it then. All right. Number 8 and number 18. Add a spicy video or just an intro video to your profile, which I love the idea of just doing an intro video, and saying hey and introducing yourself, and gives you a little bit of personality, and people can hear your voices. It's just kind of nice.
Yeah, they can see how you interact with one another. I think a lot of people think about videos on SDC as they have to be a sex video. Like, I don't have a sex video that I want to post. Like, I feel embarrassed to post a sex video, or it's just not my vibe to share a sex video or even take a sex video. That's okay. You can still have a cool video on your profile that gets people really excited. Like when people see you have a video on your profile, they're like, ooh, I want to see that. They're going to love it, whether it is a 360 pan around you in a different position, which is what we have on our profile. We don't have any sex videos on our profile. We have one where you're panning around me. And I'm actually sweaty. It's like after a workout or something.
It was in the middle of a workout. Yeah. I walked into the room. Okay, let me set the stage here. You were on all fours doing one of these, I don't even know, stretching thing, roller
downward
thing,
dog or something.
Whatever you were doing. And I walked in, I'm like, yes. So I thought it'd be way better if you were partially naked. So I helped with that. And then I just filmed it. Yeah, and you were. It's funny because you were totally sweaty. Like you were literally in the middle of your workout. But I did like a little pan around, and I loved it. Personally, and
we've gotten some positive feedback on it.
Yeah, I loved it. I remember telling you, like when it came to videos, I'm like, put that on there. I love that. And you're like, no, I'm sweaty. I'm like, they'll love it.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah. So and it doesn't have to be. I mean, he did pull my pants and my panties down. So mine is more explicit, but you didn't get close off. I feel like it's still kind of classy, but you could do. I mean, kind of. As classy as a half-naked, sweaty,
classy when you
mid-workout vid can be.
It is more Playboy than Hustler. How's that?
Yeah.
So there you go.
But don't you think that would have been a nice video, even if I had not had my lady bits out, even if it had been like a laundry?
I mean, it would have been nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would just not as awesome.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, you have choices when it comes to your videos. They don't have to be sex. No. They don't have to be even nude. If you do like a 360, they could be in lingerie, or it could be a fun little reel, just like you and your partner laughing together, or just some little quick video. I mean, low cut top, something like not baggy sweats, preferably. Like, great. I'm happy that you're comfortable sometimes. You don't need to put that on SDC, but like wear something attractive and remotely sexual.
I think it's super sexy when guys film like they're all spruced up for a night out, and the guys film their wives in their like sexy dress and everything else. Like like a little 360 of one of those is like awesome.
Yeah,
I think that's.
But then him popping into the screen and he's dressed up in a suit or whatever too. That's really good. I love a well-dressed man. Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Show me a video of that and how he moves or whatever, and like a little like half smirk on his face. I'm in.
I'm taking this very personally as I sit here in my sweats. Should I go get my jacket?
You should. Bow tie, please.
Thank you.
Okay, number 19, update your bio. So there are 3 main parts of your bio that you need to think about when you're going to update it. Hopefully, when you originally filled out your bio, you did all the check boxes. You didn't leave anything blank, because that is the sign of a catfish if you're leaving a bunch of things blank. So don't do that. Or it's a sign of someone who lacks confidence. So they're like, I don't want you to know this information about me, so I'm only going to share this minimal amount of information. So You don't want to look like a catfish, and you don't want to look like you lack confidence. Fill out your entire profile. Then beyond that, the 3 main section of your bio are the tagline, the About Us section, and the What We're Looking For section. Your tagline is your first glance. Like the reality is some people just don't read your profile. It's so annoying when people reach out to you and you have explicitly said in your profile what you're looking for. They are the exact opposite of what you're looking for, and they're still reaching out to you. But the reality is sometimes they don't read your profile. So make your tagline good. Make it fun. Make it quirky. Make it something that is going to make them want to stick around and read your entire profile. In your About Us section, you literally want to talk about your different hobbies, the different things that you like to do together. I think in ours, we talk about whiskey because at the time that I wrote it, I was obsessing over different types of whiskey. We talk about music festivals. Scott's a musician and we both just love music. So we do a lot of music festivals. Talk about the things that you actually enjoy doing on a date. This helps people to be able to reach out to you with their first message and say something besides, hi, hey, what's up? Which I hate.
We love those.
I can't stand those. So your About Us section is really about you and not about you sexually. It gives context to you as a person. So the 2 main sections of the body of their bio are the About Us section that we just talked about, and then the What We're Looking For section. You want people to know the kind of play you're looking for. If you don't tell them what you want, they cannot know that you're a match. So I know and understand that sometimes bi guys feel really uncomfortable identifying that they're bi, but they're also really desperate for those bi guy experiences. It does pay to say that that's what your play style is and that's what you're into. And if you don't feel comfortable saying it in your bio, then you definitely want to say it early in the messages. But same goes with bi girls, straight guys, whatever it is that you're looking for, make sure that you're saying it in your bio so that people can find you.
And also understand what some of those titles are too. That's one of the things that early on when it came to whether girls are bi-curious or bisexual,
flexible,
all those things. So often girls are like, well, I'm not bisexual.
And yes, they are.
Yeah, you are.
They're 100% looking for girl action.
You totally are.
But they feel like they're robbing other people of the title because they're not bi enough or something. I don't know. Yeah. Or sometimes straight girls will say they're hetero-flexible or bi-curious because they feel like they have to. They feel peer pressure to say that, but they're actually not interested at all in bi contact.
Yeah, that's okay.
So that is 100% okay. And there are plenty of other people who feel that way. Mm-hmm. So just be honest about what you're looking for in your profile and you will make more matches. You will become visible to the people that you want to be seen by.
And this should go without saying, but don't ramble on and on. Also, it should be more than just, one sentence. It could be a few sentences explaining.
If you use just one sentence, people are going to identify you really quickly as a catfish.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty symptomatic of catfish profiles.
Oh, yeah. And especially if that one sentence is, I just want to please you or some shit like that. It's usually like a single girl who's only looking for single guys. Sometimes she's looking for a couple too. And she just wants to please you. She just wants to be there for you, daddy.
Yeah, she wants to cook and clean for you. Also, double check your profile for grammatical errors. I mean, all the things I hate to even bring it up, but like a resume, just, double check things. Make sure the sentences are real sentences and spelling, grammar, all that's good.
Because it's easy to miss. You know what you were trying to say. So your brain kind of just filters through it and reads it the way you were trying to say it. And sometimes you just miss things. So if you write your profile, have your partner proofread it or have another lifestyle friend proofread it and just make sure that it kind of reflects what you actually were trying to say.
Yeah. And also pro tip, do this all before you post it. As far as like completing every profile field and, dotting I's, crossing T's, add some pictures, have more than one picture. Do that before you post it because what's going to happen is you're going to pop up on the new members. People will see you then. And if you have, one picture and your profile's barely filled out or anything else, people aren't going to go back necessarily and look at that.
They're going to skip past you.
Yeah, you want to put your best foot forward.
So number 20, I kind of just sort of flew past this one, but it's ask a lifestyle friend to audit your profile. That's really, really helpful, especially if it's a friend who actually knows you. So sometimes we think something looks amazing. Someone else can say, hey, that actually doesn't even look like you.
Yeah.
I can't see your nose.
Yeah, I see eyes and a mouth.
So if you have a lifestyle friend that can look at your profile and be like, hey, this doesn't actually capture your vibe, you should say this. That could be really helpful to you. Or if you have a lifestyle friend that is actually comfortable enough to say with you, this picture doesn't show your assets the best way that it could. Why not this picture or this picture? It's really, really helpful to get another set of eyes on your profile.
Number 21, participate in a contest.
Contests are so fun and they really get you on everyone's radar in this crazy way. I remember the first time that I participated in a contest. I've only participated a couple of times and I've never won, but I feel like we were huge winners, even though I didn't actually win the grand prize, which, by the way, the prizes are freaking amazing. But they have on SDC.com, they have video contests, photo contests, and writing contests. So you can win cash, vacations, bikinis, games, and lots of other really cool stuff. So you need to look out for these. And here's what happens. So you submit your entry to the contest. It goes on the contest page. It goes in the feed. And when you submit your entry, then everyone can go to the contest page and you can vote for as many people as you want to vote for. So if you want to vote for every single person that's in that feed, you can vote for person that's in that feed. That's great. Like, you're not limited to how many votes you get. So you can enter this contest. You can put something in your bio saying, hey, I entered this contest. Please go vote for me. And then people are going to want to go see your naked picture, because who doesn't want to see some tits or ass or some fucking or whatever the contest happens to be about. And then if you win, you will get this huge care package of all of these different sex things that you're going to freaking love. And even if you don't win, so many people see your profile. So many people end up visiting your profile. You get more likes, you get more views, you get more friend requests. It's like visibility gold. I know we keep saying this, but so many of these tips are visibility gold.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how quickly we saw all of our friend requests go up and messages and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really effective in that way. All right, number 22, make your profile eye candy.
Yeah, visuals are your first hook, and especially your cover photo. That is the very first piece of visual real estate on any swinger profile. It is so important. And the thing is, on SDC with your cover photos, there are some limitations. So it can't be nude. It can't be a close-up of any body part, and it can't even be lingerie or like a super skimpy bikini. It has to be a more classy pic. And they have been more recently, within the past couple of years, really enforcing this a lot more. So if you are on STC and you do have a scantily clad photo as your cover photo, you will eventually have that removed by them and they'll replace it with something else in your profile. So go ahead and change it now if you have a scantily clad or nude pic as your cover profile, and choose something that's classy. So the reason that they do this is because your cover picture is viewable by trial members who are in there for free, and that exposes you. So SDC limits how much they can see. They can see only one photo. So you want it to be classy, but you want it to be something that's still fun, something that is still a talking point. Maybe you're on a cruise, maybe you're on a vacation, maybe you're at a destination that people can tell what the destination is. Maybe you're doing something active that someone else can relate to. You want that cover photo to capture attention while still being classy and relatively covered. Photo number 2 can still be nude.
Yeah. Yeah. But
If
the
you
first
really
one,
wanted
it sets the tone for your entire profile.
Yeah.
The first picture. And it also appears in people's feeds and friends' updates when you change it.
Yeah, every single time you change it, it goes into the SDC feed of all of your friends. So our suggestion is to change your cover photo about every 2 months. About every 8 weeks, you want to change your cover photo. If you're in my SDC group, I'm going to prompt you every 8 weeks to change your photo. But if not, mark it in your calendar so that you can change your photo every 8 weeks. Plus, every time you put a new picture up, it shows that you're current, it shows that you're active, and people like knowing that you're actually in the community. You're actually active in it. That tells them that you understand consent. You understand boundaries. The more active you are, the more they feel safe and secure that you get how all of this works.
So number 23, what makes a good cover photo?
Okay, we're going to go through this pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into a good cover photo, but I feel like this is stuff that actually is available to you. So you want to use good lighting. Natural light near a window is always good. It's warm, it's soft, and it tends to make you look good. You want to be facing the window. You don't want to have your back to the window and then your camera facing you. That's going to be very shadowy and it's not going to look good. Another thing you want to do is avoid filters that distort your skin tone or blur details too much.
Or change your entire jawline.
Or your body shape.
And make sure it's, sharp, not pixelated. a decent quality photo, of course.
Make sure your backgrounds are tidy. Make sure it's not like some messy background or bathrooms with the toilet open and pee in it.
I've seen that.
That's the worst.
It's awesome. And also don't over edit.
If it's super blurry, if it's just obviously edited, people are going to know you're not going to look like that. And maybe they'll give you a chance and they'll show up. But just like us, when we showed up at that restaurant to meet that couple and that girl looked nothing like her picture, we're not going to stick around. Yeah. People are not going to stick around if you don't look like what you were advertising.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and people use editing for whatever. They could be a little glossy, make it a little nicer, whatever. But, there's a line, right? There's a line where now you're changing what you actually look like in real life. So,
yeah. I saw a post one time where someone was talking about a sunset picture, and they're like, if you want to understand why you don't feel like you look as nice in pictures as you look in the mirror, take a picture of the sunset and look at the picture of the sunset and then look at the actual sunset. The actual sunset looks better. If you use a teeny tiny little filter to make you look like you actually look in person, cool. That's totally fine. When you use a filter to make you look amazingly way different from how you look in person, that's when it gets a little iffy. You don't want people to be disappointed when they see you. You want people to be like, oh yeah, you look like your profile, or you look better than your profile. That's what you're going for.
Yeah.
You also want to show some personality, not just skin. A lot of times people think, oh, this is an ENM dating app. It needs to be all nudes. No, it does not. In fact, we recommend that you don't put your nudes in your public profile, or if you do have any nudes in your public profile, you make them more kind of classy Playboy style nudes. But you do want to show a lot of personality in your public album pics. So maybe you show pictures of a theme night at an event that you attended. Maybe you show something about your connection through your body language with your partner. If you're posing with your partner, do not do poses like you're posing for prom.
Yeah.
You do not want that. You want it to be more candid than that, or just more mature than that.
And guys, no more of the photos with your phone in your lap while you're driving. Like, I don't know, it's a dude thing, I think, but I do not need to see your adenoids. You know what I mean? Also, I got to say, when I see those profiles that pop up, and what I immediately think to myself is, you're not even trying.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want this picture in your yearbook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, give it the old college try. Try to capture
a little effort.
Yeah, put a little effort into it.
Because if you don't, then people think that that's just about as much effort that you're going to put into the sex you want to have with them.
That's right.
So put a little effort. It doesn't need to be a professional photo shoot, although it's fun if it is. I will say, though, if you are going to do a professional photo shoot, that should not be the only thing you have in your profile. Yeah. You should have a blend of some candid shots and your photo shoot and some different hobby shots. Another thing that's important is framing and composition. If you crop at mid-thigh or waist up, that's flattering and it's personal without being graphic. You don't want to crop at the neck so that you it's just a freaking headshot, or like midway through your calf. That's not attractive. And you want to include just enough background to set the mood. So if you're poolside or your rooftop, or if there's some sort of event lighting, or you're in a hotel lounge, something like that, having that in the background is nice. It can add something. It can give people a reason to reach out to you and something to say when they reach out to you.
Can I also say too, I am a sucker for a pretty smile. And I totally get why some people with their profiles, they need to blur their faces. I get that. We totally understand. I have seen blurred faces where, half of the face is gone and then I see the smile and I'm still like, okay. Yeah. Kind of get a sense of what you look like, even though I could never pick you out of a crowd. Something else I would recommend is when you do have to cover up your face, don't put these huge like rhino faces, like fake little
smiley faces,
animation or something on there where it totally distracts from everything. I can't make out anything. I can't tell what color hair you have. Bleeds into your neck and your body.
You may as well just post a picture of your stuffed animal collection.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. And for me, at least, I personally prefer to just take out, blur the face, whatever, but keep the hair, keep the surroundings, keep as much as you can so somebody can kind of piece together, what you might actually look like.
Yeah. Yep. And when it comes to couples, it's really a good idea if your cover pic is something of both of you. And if it's not your cover pic, it should be your second pic. You should feature both people, because if both people are not in your public album, people will think the person who is not featured is a troll. I promise you that. That is what they'll think. If you're a couple, you are both going to be playing. You should both be featured in that album, and preferably in the cover pic. Now, if you have just this amazing solo pic of the woman and you really, really want that to be the cover pic, totally understandable. Just make sure your second pic is both of you. And avoid mismatched energy in your profile pics if you're a couple. So I have seen profiles that have like 10 pictures of the guy scantily clad and then like one picture of the girl in sweats. And I'm like, okay, she doesn't want to be here. This is not for her. This is him. He's happy to be here and she is not happy to be here. That, to me, that is a huge turnoff. I'm not into that vibe. It looks like you're imbalanced.
It goes both ways where when you can tell who set up the profile, when it's super, super obvious who put it together, that shows what you mentioned, that one of them may not be as interested in what's going on this profile.
Right. And when it comes to singles and profile pics, skip the gym selfies unless that is your primary brand, unless that's what you do. If you're a fitness coach or something like that, cool, do your gym selfie. But otherwise, showing your muscles or your giant dick is not going to be the thing that people want to see in your cover photo. People want to see something about your personality. They're going to find out that you have a big dick at some point. They're going to be able to see in your cover photo, which is a hobby photo, that you have a great bod. You don't need to show them a picture of you pumping iron, unless that's your brand. And you can mix it in with all the other pictures, but that's just really, to me, again, personal opinion, that's a bit overused and tired. So feature something else. There's got to be more to you than your fitness routine, unless it's your job. And if it's your job, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go for something different, like just a real extreme close-up of your asshole. That's always one of my favorites whenever I come across it.
We're about to update our cover picture, and that's what it's going to be, is Prescott's asshole.
Well, oh my gosh. So I've seriously been like I've seen a profile and I'm like, oh, cool. And I see the cover photo and I'm interested enough to, hit next, and bam, ooh! I'm like, whoa. Like,
literally, I can't tell you how many times both of us have done that to each other. We'll be like sitting here and all of a sudden I'll hear Prescott go, whoa, or you'll hear me do the same thing.
Yeah,
or the other thing you'll do to me is like, oh my God, honey, look at this. And then you'll like shove it in my face and it's like this close up genitals.
You're like, this escalated very quickly. You were in a suit a moment ago.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm 1 inch away. So yeah, I would avoid some of those. I mean, some of those could be, pretty nice, but yeah, the super extreme close-ups, I would say,
some of what can be pretty nice.
A nudity, I should say.
Because it sounded like you're talking about close-up assholes.
Some of the close-up assholes can be pretty nice. Depends on the ass. No, I'm kidding.
I mean.
No, But yeah, I mean, nudity, it's great. But again, I would lean more towards the Playboy versus the, hustler. It's not a gynecological exam.
Right. At least in the public album. Some people are super into the super close-up dick pics.
Yeah.
I mean, I love a good dick pic with a little pre-cum dripping out, but I don't need to see that in your public album. I would like to consent first to signing in to your private album, and then I will happily look at that stuff because I'm anticipating it. I don't want to be smacked in the face with it unless I ask to be smacked in the face with it.
I like that.
So avoid these common photo mistakes. You don't want it to be blurry. You don't want it to be dark. Nothing in the bathroom. If you could avoid car shots, that's really good. You don't want a cropped group photo where you can see someone else's arm in the photo or something like that. And you definitely don't want actual group photos where I have to figure out who the heck you are.
That has happened several times where we're like, which one is it? And I hope it's this one. And then you find out it's not.
And if you do choose to break this rule and include friends in your photos, do not do so without getting their explicit consent.
Yes.
And please, for the love of God, do not include old photos in your photo album.
When we say old, we're thinking of of a profile we saw specifically that gave us a timeline basically from like 20 years ago, like literally.
Probably 25 years ago.
It was more. It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were actual, pictures of real pictures that have the timestamp or the date stamp on it, back in the day.
But they started with their young pictures, and not all of them had a timestamp. So we were looking, we're like, oh yeah, she's cute. And then we're scrolling, we're like, is this her mom? Like, what the fuck's going on?
By the end, we're like, seriously, what happened? I'm like, wait, this is them. They just gave us, we just took a walk down memory lane of the last 30 years of what they looked like. And, I hate to be a jerk, but I know that, I don't look like I looked, 30 years ago. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to call it. I looked better 30 years ago than right now. And I don't know anyone else. It's going to be very rare that anyone's going to say, you know what? I just look better than what I did when I was 27. Just don't do that. You're thinking of them in the here and now. You're going to meet them now. You're going to potentially decide whether or not you are a good play match. And if, you're going to be naked with them the way they are now.
I mean, if at some point, if an opportunity comes up for you to show those old pictures that you're really proud of, you can show them, but they shouldn't be in your profile. I mean, all right. So when it comes to the psychology of first impressions, people do decide in seconds, but you don't want them deciding that they want to get laid by your 28-year-old
Prescott. Yeah. Where'd all your hair go? You had hair down to your boobs. Well, I was 27.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I'm a little lighter in the hair department than I was back then.
So you want to make sure that your photos are clear, flattering, real, inviting. You want to balance the sexy with the social. You want to create some intrigue. You don't want to overshare with the close-up dick pics or pussy pics. And you want to routinely refresh your cover pic and the pics in your album.
Yes.
All right, let's move on. Another thing that you can do is create locked albums. That creates some intrigue, and it allows you to be flirty and mysterious at the same time. So you can have those close-ups on your profile. Just put them behind a locked gate. And this is amazing because it causes people to have to reach out to you. They have to have a conversation with you in order to get your password. They don't automatically get entrance into your most intimate photos.
Even though people will ask. People have asked us, like literally send us a message, say, hey, can I have the password to your album?
Right.
And we don't even know them. We never met them before.
We never had a conversation. And those are pic collectors. And my answer is always, we only share that if we are considering play with someone and we haven't had any conversations with you. But thanks for your interest. But we got a message because of that. And if that had been someone who we've been interested in, we would have been really happy to get that message. And we also have gotten messages from other people who will take the time to have a conversation, to get to know us a little bit, and then they'll ask for our password. Or they'll provide us with their password and ask if we would like to exchange.
Or if they don't have face pics on theirs, which again, going back to the whole, I understand the reason why people blur themselves. What they will do is when they reach out to us, they can tell that we're real, right? I mean, we've got a whole bunch of different validations and everything, but they will reach out to us and say, hey, we're so-and-so, whatever, and they will include a face pic because they know that we have no idea what they look like.
Or they'll reach out to us, and even though we have a bunch of pictures in our album, including multiple face pics and one classy nude pic of me, they will reach out to us with no face pics and say, can we have your password?
Yeah.
And I will be like, are you high? No, you cannot. What have you given me lately?
Yeah, what have you done for me lately?
That's right. So the answer is always no to that. No, thank you. And also rude.
Well, also some people will reach out and, give us the face pic and say, hey, and also, by the way, here is our password to our profile.
Right. Which is totally cool if you do it that way.
Locked down albums. Yeah, which is totally cool.
But the bottom line is having a locked album raises your visibility because it prompts people to message you and actually engage with you so that you then have the opportunity to determine if you actually are a play match, and you can then gatekeep with your naughty albums. When we say don't have the close-up dick pics, don't have the close-up pussy pics, all those things, we're just saying don't have it in your public album. Don't assault people with it. Don't make it so they're scrolling through nice pic. Oh, close-up pic. Don't make it that way. Make it so that it's in a locked album. They know it's your naughty album. When they open up, they are expecting to see pussy and dick and nipple and whatever. They're prepared for it. They've consented to it. It just kind of goes with the whole ENM vibe. Okay, guys, that is the end of our tips for raising your visibility on SDC. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you got some inspiration. I hope you jump into your profiles and update a bunch of these things over the next couple of weeks. So if you're anything like me, you read these things and you get all of this information and you're like trying to take all this information in, and it's really difficult to actually implement the information the way it is presented. So I have started a couple of 30-day, which I am presenting on SDC.com, and then I'm doing a deeper dive into that 30-day challenge on my Circle community so that you can implement each of these different strategies one day at a time throughout the entire month. And by the end of the month, you will have totally built up your visibility on the app. And it's really exciting. You could do that challenge a couple of times a year, and it will be available to you a couple of times a year. But if you happen to miss the challenge in November, you can always download my corresponding guide, which will also be available in the guides section in my community. So that guide will include everything we talked about today, plus some additional tips and tricks you can implement to raise your visibility on dating apps, particularly SDC.com, but you'll find that most of the larger dating apps have similar features.
So that was a lot. Everybody, thanks for hanging out, and we really hope this helps.
Yeah, and let us know how it goes. I would love to hear about any experiences that you have with implementing any of these things. That'd be really fun. I love that. Actually is our favorite part about having this podcast, is hearing your real life stories about how this works out for you.
Yes, for sure.
All right, guys, stay flirty.
Stay fun.
And hopefully we'll see
you soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Show me your asshole.
Life's about feeling good.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Unexpected Us podcast. For more ENM tips, tricks, travel, and fashion inspo, you can find us on Instagram as the Flirty Pineapples.
That's also the best place for you to confidentially submit your questions for us to ponder and process on the podcast.
You can find the link to join STC, our favorite ENM dating app, in the episode description below.
There's also a 15% off link for STD Hero, the absolute best at-home STI testing company we've found, hands down.
And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next episode.
Until then, this is Prescott and Bella with the Unexpected Us podcast, signing off.